Hello. Do I have a show for you today? Yes, thank you guys for coming in. There he is. Hey, hello to all the people. Hello to you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Uh oh yeah, I got the music turned down a little low because that's how I can hear. Hey man, it's DJ Strick for another episode of the Stream Show, and I have to be sure I say that right. I got my other show going, and it's in my head. The title of that show is in my head, but I'm here with you tonight, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have the Stream Show, and you have me. And if you had an opportunity to watch last week's show, you would have seen Joe Swift talk about his podcast Heroes. And I'm going to talk about what he did and how you can do what he did with whatever you are doing. Okay, it's just a conversation, so you can join in the conversation. I definitely want you to say hello to me. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you want to come in and ask questions and be a part of the conversation, I will also throw in the Zoom link so you could say hello and talk to me in the whole nine. So if you want to be a part of the conversation, if I can find the link, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to add it in so you can come hang out with me. So here we go. Copy link. There we go. I got people giving me likes already. Like, listen, I love that. I love that. But come through if you like. Here, the link is in the description, in the comments, and you can come hang out. Watching from, okay. And not only are you watching, but you're here on time. The principal is in the building. Thank you for coming through. So I got a couple of things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how we all could repurpose our material, but different than what we're thinking about normally. Okay? Different than what you're normally thinking about. So if you had an opportunity to come last week, you would have saw Joe talk about podcast heroes. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, give you a little bit more details, and allow podcast heroes to do what it's doing to me, which is it's inspiration to me. Like, it kind of opened my mind up to be thinking about more ways to do something with the podcast than just a normal, you go from long form content to short form content. Boom, that's it. You know, I think we could do better than that. Eric, what's up? Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I think we could do much better than just that. Say this happened. So let me just start with this. It was about 4 years ago. Okay, so January of 2021. I had an opportunity to go on to Ecamm Live to do into the community, the Facebook group, to be able to do some highlights. Just to go live, you know, nothing big, but just having a theme, but go live inside of the community to kind of help the Facebook group grow. It's already growing really, really well, but, you know, to give voice to what was going on with Ecamm Lives, it was the Facebook group. And through that, I actually read a message I got from Katie, the marketing manager. And Katie was really just asking for people to come on and be a part, just kind of as a, how you want to say it, a weekly thing, just a highlight for just 1 week. I read the email wrong. I was thinking Katie really wanted some people to come on and do some unique things for Ecamm Live, similar to what we were already doing with Let's Get Live.Rocks community. And so I actually pitched her an idea for the stream show. Hey, why don't I come on, talk about this, talk about that. And not only me, I have an idea of bringing on my friend that I just met. I wanted to bring on Brant Collins. Brant is a brainiac when it comes to content creations and cameras, lights. Like, he really knows a lot about all of this stuff. And can communicate it very well too. So the both of us coming on, which I know a lot about cameras, but he definitely knows a lot about cameras. And with my ability to be a host, his ability to know about the cameras, we have guests come on and we all kind of chit chat around streaming, live streaming. It was just going to be a good idea. Even the stream show, it's just a really good idea, especially when we are catering that to an audience of a company that is built around allowing people to use their software to stream live. It's probably one of the best marriages you can have, right? So through the process of all of this, I'm still learning how to be a content creator. I can do content, but having the thing, getting the niche and just focusing on your niche, I still needed more time to kind of work on it. I really like to do what I did in radio. Of course, with me being a DJ, I always had guests in the studio. I loved interviewing people. So if people were ever in my city, I would always bring them on and allow them to have an opportunity to talk about the nonprofit, the event they were doing, just who they were, if they were artists, talk about them and their music, all of that kind of stuff, right? So I am better when I'm interviewing people. That's like my first gift. I had to learn how to do things like this, where I'm just talking into the camera and to you. Well, doing that was great. I really, really like it. And now we're 4 years into it. I have guests throughout the month. I now do tutorials like I'm doing today. And I really talk about them as basically conversations. And I have slides for you today. We're going to talk about some things. And the idea is for me to be here today and for you to be able to get an spark. I was going to say an idea, but a spark was a little better. For you to be able to glean something off of this that'll make you think different than what's going on right now. What is happening in the social media world? It is changing from social media to interest media. So all of the algorithm things that you've known in the past, it is really kind of gone away. I mean, Facebook years ago stopped allowing you to be able to communicate to all of your friends. Like, what is that? I mean, you take all this time to click a button to be connected with a friend, and now you can't be connected with a friend because they won't allow you to be seen by all of your people. It's like, what sense does that make? And now TikTok is the same way. It's more about interest. It's more about what people are interested in. They're trying to keep people on their platform, so they're showing things to people that are going to be interesting to them, so they'll stay on the platform. YouTube has did that a long time ago. If you ever hit the recommended page on people's while they were scrolling, and YouTube knew what you were doing, they was trying to get that person to stay on YouTube. So they were showing them exactly what they were looking for. And then recommended options from YouTube to be able to get that information out, right? So now yes, we like long form. Yes, we like to go live. Yes, we've been doing shorts, but what's next? Have you not thought about this last video? If you haven't, please go back last week and listen to Joe talk about how he came up with Podcast Heroes. But I'm going to go through today some of the things that you could do around your podcast, around your long form content that can help you give it a little bit more longevity. Instead of just one long form content thing that you do, how can you allow that to expand to a potential digital product? Not just a guide or ebook, but maybe even another product that will kind of open up the minds of other people. We got AI now. We got Nano Banana. We got VO3. We have Sura. We got Runway. We got Midjourney. We have all these things that you can now use to either duplicate yourself or bring a character. What about your long form content being narrated by a character that you created? Okay. Here's another idea. It was Notebook LM that will take your long form content, you could throw the transcript into Notebook LM, and it would then build a podcast with two people talking about your podcast. Like a lot of people didn't move with that. But what if you got the vocals from that podcast and gave those two voices actual faces to be able to talk back and forth? Who's done it? It's doable. Say, I don't want the Notebook LM voices. I want other voices. You can have that with 11 Labs. Okay? You can have different voices narrate the portion of your transcript and talk and put characters and then put them in a particular scene, whether it's a newscast or whatever, and people could be talking about not you, but you actually have used AI to help you bring another form. What if we did newscasters? You built newscasters to actually do a news segment about your long form content that you then repost, that you post and put all into your social media like a news station covered it, and it was really your AI. You were doing a better job of repurposing your content by building characters from a news station to do it. Whether that's cartoon or they look like real humans. Like I would go that route, make it look like it's a real newscast. I'm giving out all the ideas right now. Listen, if this is resonating with you, let me know in the comments. If I'm just sparking anything, let me know. If you're thinking just like I'm thinking, I went from newscasters and then I'm thinking in my mind, you can do a 3-minute short movie. Not shorts, but just take it to a 5-minute kind of a movie scene that you can build. That may take you a little longer to do it, but based off your long form content, how can you put it in movie based? And then spread it along. So Marianne is here. Hey, Marianne, I got an idea for you. When I'm talking about this movie base, you know, in movies, they always have, sometimes, depending on who the sponsor is in a movie, you may see the Coke can, like the real Coca-Cola can, and you know that Coca-Cola had something to do with getting their product placement. What if, as you have this little short, there's product placement of stationery that you provide, that once you show it inside of that movie, you just kind of put a circle around it and then the link where people can know where to buy it, and then the link, the real link, is in the description based off of a long string content where you talked about those stationery products. This could be a lot, but it also could be innovative. It, we all know, I just saw a video. You know, Gary Vee talks about how in America we will be doing product like live selling. We will be live selling. Well, there's an actual place where this business has built booths, side by side booths, for them to hire people to come in and do the live selling. You know, America is just like that, right? We're going to take it to a whole nother stratosphere where people are making money at home from TikTok. Somebody's going to think about a business. What if I then take all of these TikTok products, right, and put them in one place, and I actually build a soundstage with different booths, and all I have to do is hire the content creators and pay them a portion, a percentage of what they sell. Like that, it blows my mind, but we all could find ways. I'm saying this because we got to be innovative, and it is now becoming even more of the wild, wild west of content creation. We're in that phase now. So, what do they say? You have an idea, you take it up the flagpole, and you try it, and if it don't work, you bring it back down, or you throw it all at the wall and see what sticks. I believe you throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Yes, love linking to my affiliate links. Like just another form, not you talking, somebody else talking about what you're doing. So let's run through some things that I have here today. I want to get started. I wanted to start with that, and the idea today is to open your mind to how your long form content could be put into story form, and from that story form, we actually have another way of repurposing an idea or even a digital product. Not talking about any type of e-guide, but something digital that you can send out there that would duplicate your message that you already done with your long form content. And I hope that makes sense to you. Man, listen, do not start my show off with making me feel all emotional about looking forward to the show. What I want to do, and I appreciate you saying your mind is open. What I want to do is just make us all think a little differently. Because I really do feel like now is the time for us to do some things that we normally wouldn't do. With all of your long form content, if you like going live and we're thinking about doing something different with it, I want you to be thinking about how you can tell a story around what you're doing. All right? I put you like this. If I tell you something if I say a fact, I'm just going to tell you that, oh man, I went blank as soon as I want to go this way. If I tell you a fact, the fact of the matter is this. You can question whether that's a fact or not. Your brain will make you think, man, I wonder, is that true? I'm streaming in 4K today. I don't know if I am. I'm supposed to be, but sometimes the stuff goes different. I'm streaming in 4K today. Hope you love the resolution. Now, somebody's going to go to YouTube and go into the settings and see if it is 4K or not. But if I actually say, I actually upgraded my system, new cameras, new capture card, and I went with this particular capture card because it gives me the 4K resolution that I was looking for. I am now streaming in 4K, not because I just wanted to. It was a hard thing to do, and I wanted to give the best resolution to my show for you. I wanted to look good. I told it in story form, so guess what your brain doesn't do? You don't automatically question whether it's 4K or not. And he said he just did. And he can get it in 1440. So there we go. I think that's actually 2K. I need to see what I'm doing. Like, it should be 4K, but that's neither here nor there. The question is, when you put things, or the statement I'm trying to make, when you put things in story form, people listen to the story and accept your story and experience as the truth. You just tell them facts, they can question facts. Everybody questions facts, right? But very few times will people question your story. That's one of the things of where you can teach and you can kind of overcome somebody's natural brain to question a lot of things by putting it in a story. So yes, there's going to be times inside of your long form content where you're teaching, and you may not have an element of storytelling there. You want to get the information out, but you can think about, hey, I need to do a separate piece of content based on telling a story around my long form content and whatever idea that may have been. All right? I think it allows you to connect fuller with your audience, especially, yes, and stories are more memorable as well. Because if I tell you I'm in 4K, if I say I'm streaming in 4K, it's a fact. If I tell you why I was streaming in 4K or how I'm streaming in 4K, guess what? Now you know the why and the how versus I'm streaming in 4K. Yeah, I wanted you to know I was streaming in 4K, but more importantly, I wanted all of that to stick, not just to be questioned. Because when you question the fact, guess what? You're off into another world thinking about whether that's true or not. And you don't have to. Yes, I'm telling you, Tatiana, thank you for coming through. telling you, and I appreciate you saying that. This really, really works. And you want to be thinking storytelling because it does allow you to get to the next thing. To overcome somebody's mind and have them listen even closer and more intently to you. So the next thing I want to talk about is the why. Um, your why is the spark. It's kind of like when you're talking to your audience and it's a niche audience based off people that like you, they are surrounded by, like, it's easy for us to be surrounded by a lot of e-cammers. This is the Ecamm fam, right? So we're surrounded with that. And then we're surrounded by a second phase of fundamental fact that all of the people that use Ecamm are Mac users and Apple users, right? So we have another connection. Um, and all those connections allows us to have common ground. And when we talk about our why we do things, guess what? My why of streaming in 4K to give the best and highest quality that I can is not just unique to me because of some of those fundamental facts of being an Apple user and a Ecamm, part of the Ecamm family. There's a lot of people that will resonate with. I want to do my very best when I'm live streaming. So if I have the ability to stream in 4K, I want to do that. Let me tell you this really, really quick. One of the reasons why I stream in 4K because I can. It's really that simple. There was a time, maybe 2 years ago, where I couldn't stream in 4K because I was using a internet provider that only allowed me to get up to 35 megabytes going up, the upload speed. And it wasn't enough for me to get a constant with all the other things I have going on in my home. It wasn't enough speed to get a constant 4K signal, and a lot of times I have to bump it down because it just wasn't fast enough. So I got AT&T fiber in my neighborhood, which is 300 for me, 300 upload speed, and there's more than enough bandwidth going up for me to use 4K while I'm streaming and other things going on in the home all at the same time. I absolutely just really into doing my very best. So when I got fiber into the neighborhood, I'm like in it. I'm automatically the next Sunday stream show, it was in 4K. So that's why. With that being said, I want to stay right here because I want people to find inspiration. I've started with this with the Podcast Heroes. And what you're seeing here, the Podcast Heroes, of course, it was developed with AI animation and AI illustrations by Joe. And it's telling a story of what he does in real life. His mom and him, they actually do help people in the area with their podcast. So he mixed in his real business with him and his mom into a story that people can identify with using animated characters. But it's a real life business that he has. But it's kind of like if you would do some behind the scene things and you wanted to say, hey, these are some of the clients that I have, and I'm going behind the scenes with my clients as I set up, and this is how I help my clients. Well, he did that in a very unique way by making a movie out of it. And then with that movie, he actually produced it and sent it out, and you can purchase the movie. His behind the scenes add on story to what he was doing in real life is now a moneymaker for him. Marianne, Tatiana, guys, are you listening to what I'm saying? Like, it sparked an idea for him to go in to make this Podcast Heroes a movie that he then monetized. It wasn't his main thing. This is actually a side thing that he did one time that he could sell for forever now. Yeah, I'm calling it a digital product. I didn't know I was calling a movie a digital product, but it is. Think about that. What is it that you're doing Yes, you love going. We all love going live. We have Ecamm so that we can go live and do it in such a unique way. Okay, with the lower thirds, with I'm doing slide presentation today, all the things where I'm switching camera settings and all of those things with Ecamm Live. But what else can we do with our long form content that can actually help us go to another step? Be thoughtful. Okay, traditionally, long form content, you cut it down to short form content that leads back to the long form content. Yes, we make short form content as what we call discovery content that we sprinkle around the internet, hoping that somebody finds us and says, hey, well, I want to know where the whole video is. And they find our YouTube channel, and then we have 1 million subscribers. That doesn't always happen. But what can we do, right, to get it there? David Hunt. Man, what's going on? Thank you for being in the building. All right, so I'm teaching today, and we're talking about ways that we can actually use, well, to get inspired to do something different with our long form content. Okay, and we're taking the inspiration from Joe Swift and what he did with Podcast Heroes, which I am definitely inspired by what he did. Definitely inspired by what he did. And I just think there's so much more that we all can do if we just get down in there and do it. Okay? So the next thing I want to be sure that we talk about is from idea to format. So I was thinking about this particular slide. I use a really, really simple light bulb as the slide illustration. But at one point, guys, there was a trend that I think is still kind of going on a little bit of a trend where people were using the children AI. So you could take, it's two people doing a dialogue, and basically you take a picture of a kid, and then through AI, you make that kid talk, and you use the AI voice. You use their voice with the kid's image, and the kids is a couple podcasters. Joe Rogan had one where it was him and his guests. They both were children. And it was just an idea to use that trend to get people to hear what they were saying. So it's Joe Rogan's voice and his guest's voice, but they made Joe Rogan and the guests look like toddlers. Y'all remember that? Have anybody else seen that other than me? I think that's really cool. So what if a portion of what I'm doing here, I take AI and make me a toddler, and it's the baby Strick talking about using story. What's going to catch people's eye is the uses of AI, and there's a baby that looks like Strick. Oh, that is super cute, right? That is stopping the scroll enough for them to hear a 30-second soundbite about how storytelling is important to catching people's attention. It's important for your why. It's important for audience engagement. All of that. Oh man, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just giving the information out here today. Like this stuff is like some of my best things. So I could be wrong, but guys, if we really just settle in, children's are pets and start. Come on, it's the truth, right? Yeah. In stories rock, and if you use them. So maybe the next trend, instead of doing like toddlers, making the AI toddlers, you can make the AI cats and dogs. Would that not get people's attention? All you're really trying to do is be mindful of how I can stop the scroll, and then when I stop the scroll, I have something that I can catch their attention with inside of a story. All of this is possible. All of this is possible, okay? And I feel like I'm running through this really, really fast. So at any point you got a comment about what I'm saying, the light bulb goes off for you, or you just want to add a comment, from your perspective, please put it in the comments, or you can actually join me inside of Zoom. My Zoom room is open for you. That being said, let's go to the next one. So the next thing is I want to be sure that when we talk about storytelling, that we do a very good job of doing the development steps for a story. Like all of us are maybe good or not so good in making sure that we have it all the right way. So I have a few notes here that I want to be sure that I talk to you is define your message when you're doing a story. Make sure that it is very, very clear. Outline the beginning, the middle, and the end. Add conflict and resolution. Okay. A story should have what we call up and down peaks. So you should be going up a hill in the story. In the beginning, you're setting the plane. It's kind of like if I was filming the story. Oh, let me go here. It's kind of like if I was filming the story, I'm going to start with a wide shot so everybody knows like what's around me in the scene. So once you do a visual, it's kind of like the visual storytelling is a wide shot comes in the beginning. So in the beginning, you're just giving the foundation. A long, long time ago, a young guy did A, B, C, D, or it's a summertime scene. So it's summertime. People are out because of the visual. People are out walking. Then you zoom in to your main characters, and your main characters are now you're just telling who the main characters are. Young guy in coffee shop, girl comes in. You show their hands. There's no ring. Nobody has ring. They're single, and they catch eyes, and you just kind of build from the story based off of the beginning and establishing the characters. Then once you establish the characters, you have them in a coffee shop, and then another guy walks in, and he see you and the girl there together, the two single characters together, and he's upset. He frowns on his face. There's a conflict because that's her ex-boyfriend. You know what? Think about how that I just built a little bit of story, but that's how it actually goes. You got to build the conflict, and you really want that conflict to be as engaging as possible before you do any type of resolution, because once you resolve the conflict, the story is over. Okay? Sometimes people want to know whether people go after that, but a lot of times once the conflict is over, the story ends or you do a part two. So build it up, and you want to be sure that when you do that conflict resolution, that you infuse like some real emotions into it, some real life type of situations that people can identify with. And when you end it, you want to be sure that you end it with some type of call to action as well. So these are things inside of a story you want to be aware of and build towards. So David did a great job and says, okay, hey, can you talk about the best AI tools for video or images for storytelling development? So if you have ChatGPT, let me just say this. All of them, David, are good for it. For images and developing story, all of them can take an image and from an AI perspective, if you write a prompt to take this character and make this character do this and this background, from image to image is easy. Image to video is actually really easy for most of them too. Sora, ChatGPT is connected to Sora. Okay. Let me see if there's another one. Of course, Runway is another one. Cling is one. And that one people had said that was a little better than others when you're actually taking a picture to image to video. But those are some options there for you. Most of them are doing really, really well now. VEO3 with Google or the Nana Banana is the new latest and greatest things that people are really raving about. That's better what we call character consistency, which has been an issue in the past where you're trying to do multiple scenes and a character's face or something changed. It was a bad problem in the past, but it looks like Nana Banana is probably the best with that right now. So there you go. Okay. I'm currently reading for help with my story time. Hey, listen, trying to find ways to tell better stories is important because of engagement. Okay, there's no way of getting around that. Right AI tools are important, and more important factor is writing. You said it. The prompt writing is the biggest thing, and right now, most of us are using prompts from ChatGPT because we are familiar with talking to ChatGPT. I say familiar with talking. I do like talking to ChatGPT rather than typing because I'm able to communicate a little bit better than typing with my voice. And we can go back and forth and find the right prompt. Okay? But that's just my recommendation. Like, there's a lot of other things out there. The big takeaway is using something. All right? I want you to use something. All right, so the next thing is keeping the audience at heart. So, a lot of times, and it's not our fault, it's how we think. A lot of times when we are doing anything in content creation, it does take us the ability to get in front of a camera and talk. And we really think that because we're doing this, it makes us special. It does. But we're actually serving our audience. So the audience is the one that, when they're working with us, should feel special. The audience in every story, in all of our stories, as we build them to either sell something or they need to see themselves as the hero in the story, not me feeling as the host, the hero of the story. All right? My job, and this just came to me, I didn't even put this in the notes. My job, your job, if you're selling something, you're being a coach, our job is to be the guide the story. All right? The person that's helping the hero get to the end, not the hero in the story. Our job is to show and direct people to where they need to be so that they can be the hero in the story. All right? Remember, we are just the guide. All right? Tatiana, she's actually talking back to David, so there you go. And she's saying some good things. Thank you so very much, Tatiana, for saying that. I am just trying to help. I'm hoping you guys are getting something. Today's show is a continuation from last week's show where I was just in awe of what Joe Swift, a Ecamm fam member, is doing with his podcast Hero and actually made a movie. What is it, Tatiana, that out of the box thinking that we could do to help our audience? Tatiana, you're helping other colleagues be able to communicate better in their classrooms to be sure that as their professors teaching, they're teaching in a virtual setting to where the people get it on Zoom. I hope I got all that right. What if there's some ways that we can use the new technology of AI to help them develop real quick AI stories and tips to start their classes out? Who, even as adults, are not watching, whether it's real people, real AI looking people, or cartoon, all that kind of stuff. We're engaged with that now. Like, that's a great way to get people to pay attention. Just play an intro story that's kind of going into whatever the topic is. And because it's a story and you use the facts or the information that you need them to learn inside of the story, guess what? They can tell you that right away. It took me a very long time to realize the way that I learned. And I'm not the only one. Okay? I'm not the only one that goes to YouTube University. Okay? Because sitting in a actual classroom with a teacher, chairs, and writing does not work for me. My mind will go 100 miles per hour or go to sleep all at the same time. But when I'm in YouTube University, and Tatiana, you could probably tell me exactly what that is. I'm able to see, I'm able to engage and rewind to actually do the steps. I love how-to stuff. If I need to fix something around the house, how to fix whatever it is, and I'm watching that, learning how to do it, and going to do it. If I had to be in a classroom and learn how to do that, I just, it would not happen. But if I watch a science video on YouTube talking about science, guess what? I'm engaged, I'm watching, and I'm learning. And I probably could do very well on the test. You put it in a book, I'm not comprehending all of what I read. But if I can see it and visualize it, guess what? I got it. Yes, a teaser to the class, a teaser for the beginning of the class to kind of get people engaged, but talks about what you want. All those things I think are really, really good. Capture the heart. All right. Capture the heart of your audience. So I think that what you're doing is called hands in, active, not passive. There you go. Learning. That's an active way of learning. Yeah, the passive way where somebody talks. Oh man, the first time I was in college and I went to my history class and it was actually in a small theater room with like 200 other people. And then my last name is Strick. That's where DJ Strick comes from, and I was in the back. It was over before it started. Okay, that was the best sleep I ever got. 2 times a week. I'm just telling you, it didn't work for me at all, Tatiana. It didn't work for me at all. All right, so let's talk about some tools that we could be using to help us writing. So I want to be sure, I got my notes here. So tools to make it happen is writing and planning. Use Notions, Trello, Google Docs from writing and planning. And then from audio visual, of course, what's going to help you better than Ecamm Live? All right, Ecamm Live is definitely the way to go. And of course, if you were trying to do some things, I really like CapCut with the templates that they had. I really found CapCut to be fast, to be easy. When they actually changed like their user agreement, I kind of had to let them go. But I'm going to go back and look at it again to be sure that I was not being too afraid of nothing, because a lot of what they were trying to do is the same thing that any other social media platform would do. If you put something on their platform, they own it as well. So I want to read that and look at some of their terms and services and agreement or whatever, so that I can understand it for myself. Because I really did like the platform. All right, publishing to YouTube is a great way of doing it. If you're using anything under 3 minutes, if you're building anything under 3 minutes, I believe you can sprinkle that across social media and it will still work. You want to be mindful that the TikTok audience and Facebook audience are going to be very different. I don't have a huge amount of TikTok followers or whatever, but it still can get from an interest standpoint out to more people, and your followers grow over time. I have a huge amount of followers on Facebook. Facebook is not allowing everybody to see my stuff for whatever reason. So you just want to be mindful of what you put out there, and then once it catches, I will say this. This is fundamental to you actually getting major league growth. When you have a piece of material, reel, short, post, or whatever, that catches people attention organically, you may want to think about, how can I boost this? How can I put money behind it to make it go further? Now, a lot of us are not at a place to where we're selling anything, so it wouldn't work for you. But if you are a coach, if you have a product, if you have a widget or a service that you're providing, and you're using the method of dumping it into organic to see if that particular piece of content works, and it does, it is appropriate for you to then go and put money behind that so more people can see it. Guess what? Facebook is ready for you to do that. You want to be able to do it as fast as you can. And of course, you want to be mindful of your community that you're building and email list that you're building as well. Those will always help for you to actually get more people that know and like you the information that you have as far as the new thing. All right. the new product that you're building, whatever it is that you're building off of your long form content. All right. I started off by talking about podcasts. Podcasts can be long form content that we then shorten up for shorts. And then in this case, the idea is we do something completely different from a short. It is the same idea that you did in your long form content or as a piece of whatever that long form content is, but it's not a short. It is something that you can use AI to repurpose, to reimagine whatever that is to kind of hit differently. All right. So let's talk about workflow. You got a script, you got to record, you have to edit, you have to share, you have to repurpose. Even that could be repurposed. Again, going back to what Joe Swift did, he actually made a movie, and that movie has been repurposed, and he actually used other tools to have those animated characters talk about the movie. It was just great all the way around. Weekly series, based planning, or you can set creative deadlines to keep the momentum going of what you're doing. All right, so that is important as well. And through all of this, let me say this: sometimes, as a content creator that has clients and that are working on behalf of other people that are paying you to create, sometimes it can feel like you're drowning. And the last thing that you could do for yourself is create content. I understand it. I've been there for a while. But I've heard from another content creator that it's a really good idea for you to be a client of yourself as well. So all of the tools that you know how to use, that you're showing other people how to do it for yourself. Now, I had an opportunity 2 months ago. One of my clients was, they were ending their contract, right? And all of the things that I was teaching them and having them to do, I had time to then do what I'm telling them to do for themselves for myself. Started up my podcast again, my live show. And from that, I'm taking long form content, making shorts and reels that actually introduce the next week's show. It has exploded for me because people are like, wow, Strick, I didn't know that you were making content on this level. I was actually making it for other people. People didn't know it because I have a client list, and there's a few people that know. You know how you do word of mouth. People find out who's doing what, and they may call you. But now people know that's that Strick guy. He's the person that's doing this, that, or whatever. I want you to be thinking that way because you never know, even if you are busy making money with other clients, when someone is looking for what you do, but you don't have any calling cards out there. You don't have a way for them to know what you're doing. They can't see you actually doing it. The only content I have was content around social content around my wife and I's travel or just some regular funny posts and reposting other things. But not me showing people how I know how to work a camera and do a video show and how good it can look with the right cameras and light setup. So I'm just trying to help you, even if you do get busy and some of this workflow could be a lot. Find something that you can consistently do. I'm saying if you have long form content, yes, the idea is to take that long form content and make short form content out of it, but also find a way to repurpose that theme and idea in a completely different way using AI, whether it's a news station kind of a look, whether it's characters that you develop and they're talking about it, whether it's a podcast with a guy and a girl that's talking like that Notebook LM thing. Instead of them just doing a audio podcast, you can make that a video podcast, but it's talking about your long form content and it's pushing them back to that long form content so people can actually see their whole thing. You never know how what they call backlinks to a website, backlinks to a YouTube video can actually help you. Because then who knows how YouTube understands all of these people coming, why they're coming, the demographic of that person. Well, let me start putting it into this group, and then it starts to grow exponentially, and you don't know why, but it's because you were putting in the work. Oh, man. Please talk to me. Am I resonating with you at all? Okay? Am I resonating with you at all? I want to know at the end of this, and I am wrapping it up here. Take the leap. Take the leap. And Strick, man, that's easier said than done. I got all this workforce stuff that I'm already doing. I got my professional thing that I actually do that makes money, and man, I don't need one more thing. No, I agree. You don't need one more thing. You may need to replace one of the things that you are doing, or put it on pause for a minute. Now, again, our inspiration for this particular show is Joe Swift's podcast Heroes, that he actually made a movie, right? So with his movie, we want to be sure that we're actually, I don't know what happened with my Zoom, but Zoom just went out. I'm not sure what that was. And I'm hoping you guys can still see me. I'm still on YouTube, so I'm still going. That may just be a YouTube thing. It hasn't been an hour. Can I actually have longer than that? I'm not really sure what that was all about. That's the power of being live. And of course, I just, went back live. No big deal. Oh, Todd, man, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Still seeing you on YouTube. Thank you also for letting me know you were still seeing me on YouTube. And I want to go back to this thought because I just had my squirrel moment. It may be time, as I said earlier, guys, to see content creation for what it is right now as the Wild Wild West. See some of the things, do some research on what is actually working that may be a little different, and try something. Don't allow this AI revolution to happen and you miss the boat completely. Yeah, it's changing every week. There's a new player that it's the brand new and latest, greatest thing. But you know what hasn't changed? The ability for you to write excellent prompts. So you have to learn how to do that. That is a learned skill. Learn it now. Who knows what'll happen? There's easy prompts, there's hard prompts. My next week's show, I'm talking even more about this. So I'm going to hang my hat on this for a couple of Sundays. And then the last Sunday in the month, we're going to talk about Creator Camp. But I actually use AI to do the thumbnail, and I think it's really, really cool. It's supposed to be me. It's close to my look. But the idea is, even with your thumbnails, they don't have to be that whole little static. It could be something different. Now, the static pointing thing and you having 3 to 5 words on there about whatever the topic is works, okay? It works. But what if you did it a little differently? We don't, and you don't have to pay a whole lot of money for it, but you just made it a little bit more attractive in the line of all of the thumbnails. When people are getting things suggested, yours stand out. I'm telling you, there's something with this AI revolution. And again, prompt writing is something that's not going away. You having the ability to write a great prompt is important. Learn it now. Oh, but next week there's going to be another player. Guess what? You still got to write the prompt. Well, it's Google. You still got to write a prompt. It's ChatGPT. You still have to write a prompt. Okay? At the end of the day, prompt writing and starting doing it now, testing some things and learning how to do it, learning how the computer system, the language model actually reads your prompts or the words you put in. If you learn that on any platform, it's going to work for you. Any platform is going to work. A lot of people are using ChatGPT to write the prompts. They're talking to ChatGPT, hey, this is the outcome I want. Can you ask me questions so that we can write a good prompt to get to it? This is the prompt that I have. Can you write a better prompt so that I could get to this outcome? And then I even put the system that I'm going to be putting the prompt into. ChatGPT knows all the systems, so I'm going to put this into Sora. I'm going to put this in Kling. I'm going to put this into Runway. Can you help me write a great prompt for this? What should I say? And it write prompts talking to the computer, like knowing what to say to help you. Now, I hope through this time that you were encouraged to think outside the box today. And I want to see what you actually come up with. All right? Will you use an idea like 11 Labs coming up with, you actually use ChatGPT? Let me give you this one really quick. Use ChatGPT, take a transcript of one of your, so okay, here we go. I have a video and I put it into the script. The script gives me the transcript. All right, I put the transcript into ChatGPT. In this transcript, can you have two voices? Can you write a script reviewing this video with a man's voice and a lady's voice? Make it Todd and Susan and have them talk about the different points inside of this video and end it with a call to action for people to subscribe, to go to my channel and to subscribe. Make the conversation 5 minutes long. And then ChatGPT will come up with a script with a guy and a girl's voice. You take the script from the guy's voice and you paste it all on one thing. So it's saying all this stuff. Put spaces in it, of course, okay? And then you do it with the girl's voice. You take that script into 11 Labs. There's steps to this. But once it's done right, you got something to work with. You take it into 11 Labs and let 11 Labs use a guy's voice and a girl's voice to then narrate all those things. You take that into any kind of garage band or anything where you can then cut up the things and layer them over each other. Okay, so cut up the tracks so that the guy's speaking and then when the girl interrupts, it's all there. And you just kind of layer. It's just 5 minutes. It's not long to do. It won't take you a long time, especially if you do it 1 or 2 times. You get really quick at knowing what needs to go where. And then you take that audio file, you take a picture, a picture of a guy, picture of a girl, and you say, hey, make these people in the same scene in the studio. So you take a picture of them and you put them inside of a podcast studio. And then you say the picture of the guy, the picture of the girl in a podcast studio. So you got 3 pictures of them now, right? You put that back into like Runway, Kling, or whatever, and say, use this to animate this audio. Use these pictures to animate this audio inside of a studio. And now what it spits back out to you, you may have to do it in smaller increments, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I think the longest thing that we have now is 10 minutes. So if we're only trying to get a 5-minute one, you can do a segment for 2 minutes, another segment for 2 minutes, and then a 1-minute segment. You got a 5-minute thing done. Could this take you an hour or 2? It could. But the outcome could be crazy. I explained how to do it. And Kling, Sora, ChatGPT, the script, all of these things, you would need multiple tools to be able to do it, but it can be done. And to be honest with you, a lot of these tools are free, or you can use the free version of them. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me. AI prompt writing formats tells the AI who it is, should act as a perspective. It should state clearly what you want the AI to do. Very, very good. You can also use video, photo, audio features on some of these video switches and create a final product from both recordings there. You can, you sure can. All of these are great ideas. The question is, what resonates with you that you can then take a video you've already done. I'm not asking you to create any new video, but take an old video that you can repurpose into something that's completely different than what you've already done. I think this can help you be more creative, and it can actually help you with your long form content think better, and you can actually come up with a better way of presenting with the end in mind. Because in the end of this, you will take some of these concepts and throw them into a whole different ecosystem for people to grab. I just had a squirrel moment that says you could even make this into some of these things into a, I was going to say cartoon, but it's a, what is the book? Man, I used to read them all. Comic book. You can make a comic book out of it. It took me forever to say that. That means I'm done for today. It does. I've talked all I can talk, and my hope, my aspirations, my prayer is that something from today you resonated with, and you're able to take a tool that is out now and start to play with it to become a better content creator and to put more discovery type content out there so people can find you. Next week, we're going to go deeper in this topic, and I'm hoping to have some more illustrations for you. So don't miss the stream show next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got your boy DJ Strick, and I so thank you for being a part of what we have going on tonight. See you next week. Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of the Stream Show.